earlier on in the marriage, I feel like we didn't really prioritize the marriage. I think it was just kind of assumed that we would always have time to go out and do things.
I think you really put that really well, meaning we didn't prioritize our relationship.
We hadn't booked the tickets yet. Did I get cold feet and not want to leave the kids? I can't remember what it was.
No. I think this is my memory.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
So this was the very first conversation question that they had us practice. And it says, tell each other your strongest memory of the first time you met.
A strong memory early on before we were married is when we...
I feel like this is like personal. I was like trying to encourage my friend to like date you. I was like, oh, he'd be so awesome for you. And then in the meantime, I remember feeling like these feelings of like, oh, I kind of like him actually, but maybe he's a little bit too old for me.
Janelle, this past weekend was our 17th wedding anniversary.
17.
How's that going for you?
17 years of marriage?
Yeah.
I would say they're going way better than expected.
Well, I feel the same way. So we thought we'd take an opportunity to share with you 3 things that have been a blessing to us in our marriage, exercises that you can implement in your own marriage. And so that's our start off here, Janelle. What's one thing that we agree on that we really changed in our marriage that's really been a blessing to us?
You know, earlier on in the marriage, I feel like we didn't really prioritize the marriage. I think it was just kind of assumed that, you know, we would always have time to go out and do things. But then as children started coming along, like it just seemed like our dates or time kind of away seemed fewer and far between. And even just we were just so consumed with kids. You know, all the needs of the kids and the household and whatnot and work.
I think you really put that really well. We didn't prioritize the marriage, meaning we didn't prioritize our relationship. The kids, just our duties took over.
Right.
And
Yeah. And not that the marriage was struggling, but at one point we had some friends that invited us to go to Mexico with them on an all-inclusive week at a resort. Yeah. And wow, that was sure tempting. And we had it like all figured out. Your parents were going to watch the kids. I think we had like 4 kids at the time.
We'd saved some money.
And we hadn't booked the tickets yet. And then, I don't know, did I get cold feet and not want to leave the kids? I can't remember what it was.
No. I think this is my memory.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I realized it was like at the time $2,000 just over that at that time to go for a week. And my mom and dad were ready to look after the kids. But then I looked at that money and I thought, if we went on a date once a month for the next year and divided that $2,000 up over those weeks, we couldn't even spend all that money. And then I thought, what's going to be more beneficial to our marriage? Going away for 7 days or 5 days, whatever it was, or going on a date once a month. We already had the money saved for something. And I just realized, and I shared this with you, I think it's more beneficial to our marriage if we just go on a date once a week and once a month.
Once a month, yeah. And so that's what we decided to do.
Yeah, so I called my parents. I thanked them for offering to look after our kids, but explained that we weren't going on this trip anymore.
And told their friends, sorry, we're not going to go.
Yes. And ever since then?
We've been going once a month. And it's been glorious. I just love it. I look forward to it every month. And I mean, sometimes it gets busier and we kind of, like you were busy on Thursday nights last term. Yeah. But it's okay. We still try and prioritize, even if it's like, okay, let's run and go for coffee or something, or, you know, make an errand part of a date kind of thing. Or even like sitting out on the deck. Oh, that's been so amazing. I feel like I just love that. That happens more frequently than once a month.
Yeah, so where we have a reserved time on the deck, sitting down, drinking coffee, and the kids are not allowed to come and talk to us for about 15 to 20
I've
minutes.
actually contemplated getting a sign saying, do not open the front door and have it, you can turn it. So it's like...
maybe I can get that.
So anyhow, so we've been going on a date once a month. Usually it's just we get to adoration and confession and then we go for supper. And I love it. I mean, we're not really like, I'm not big into like adventure dates and like, let's plan something creative. Lots of people like that kind of stuff. I'm like, let's just keep it as plain Jane as possible. I like that.
Yeah, well, we haven't done anything like that yet.
Anyhow.
Maybe we won't. Okay, so that's been great for us.
Yeah.
Super good.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking you're like, I can't wait to go skydiving. I do not want to do that, just so you know.
We don't have to skydive. How about like kayak down the river?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Moving on. There's so the date has been great. Next is
So currently we are doing investing in our marriage by taking a course. And actually it was recommended to us by your brother and your sister-in-law. They really spoke highly of it. And there's a parish in town that's offering this course. It's called the Marriage Course. It's an alpha program. And surprisingly, it's been amazing. We've really enjoyed it. So it's like once a week. And we watch these videos, and there's like times in between the video where you can discuss and talk about certain topics. It's been really actually insightful, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so we'll share with you 2 of the exercises that we've learned in that marriage course that have really benefited us. And so that first one, well, it was enjoyable. That first one.
Hope you're enjoying this video so far. Is there, by chance, any kind of exercise that you do in your marriage that you found very helpful? We would love to hear from you, so just put it in the comments below. Thank you. So this was the very first conversation question that they had us practice, and it says, tell each other your strongest memory of the first time you met and what first attracted you to one another. See, that's so nice. You just think of that and you're like, oh, I love that. I want to revisit that memory.
Yeah. So who's first? I'll go.
Okay, you go.
So one of a strong memory early on before we were married is when we took a 55 passenger bus filled with teens to bring them down to a conference in the US.
A Stumwell conference.
Yes.
In Minnesota.
And you were a chaperone on that trip and a leader, and as I was as well. And I remember I think we're sitting beside each other, perhaps at the front, and because I would get motion sickness, so I had to sit at the front. And you got up and you went to the back of the bus, and then you started engaging everyone around you at the back, talking to them, and said, "Okay, we're gonna sing a song." And then you started leading the whole bus from the back in these different songs, like that had different parts and rounds. And I remember looking back thinking, she is just remarkable. Like you just commanded everyone's attention so beautifully and gently. And it was in that moment I'm like, there's something really remarkable about you. And it caused something within me to like, I want to get to know more about you.
Well, thank you.
There was like a romantic surge.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah. Yes.
It's funny. I remember at the time I was trying to encourage my friend to like date you. I was like, oh, he'd be so awesome for you. And then in the meantime, I remember feeling like these feelings of like, oh, I kind of like him actually, but maybe he's a little bit too old for me. What is there? 6 years between us?
6 years apart. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my memory. Yours?
Okay, my memory. Well, I had multiple experiences of meeting you prior to ever thinking like romantically about it. But I remember just seeing you in a position of leadership in ministry. Just like I'd go to these retreats and I'd hear you speak and I'd hear you lead worship and encourage the young people to enter into a life of faith. And I'm just recalling like particularly, I guess, when did I start romantic feelings for you? Well, probably was on that same bus trip, actually, to be honest. And just seeing you, because I remember there was one evening we were staying at this school or something. And I remember we had this, like, I don't know if it was like a little prayer meeting. It was a praise and worship evening, and you gave a little talk. And I just remember thinking, like, wow, that's awesome. I really like that about that guy. And then it just continued on from there. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I think I have a lot of good memories about those early phases.
Yeah, so do I. So do I. But the value of what we just did is just it just renews the connection, renews like how did we first get connected, right? And this can be done on a date night.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes our date nights are could be more structured, where we sit down. This is what we're going to talk about. Tell me how we started, from your mind.
Yes.
From your perspective.
Because I think default, we typically just go to like, oh, what are the daily ongoings? What's going on with the kids? That would be our discussion.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's good to revisit this because it releases like some good hormones, like
serotonin.
serotonin.
Oxytocin, is that what it is?
Well, that's the bonding hormone. I don't know if that's released during discussions. Maybe, probably a little bit.
Okay. The point, it can be intentional in the date, and this is an exercise that could be done. There was another, so this is the third one, the third exercise. You got the date, you got recalling the memory. Number 3. We'll get to exercise 3 in just a second here, but I want to thank you, our monthly supporter, for allowing us and empowering us to continue the work that we're doing. Without you, we could not do these videos. And so today we want to say thank you, and we pray for you every evening when we say our family rosary.
Okay, so the third thing is to show appreciation. And okay, this seems pretty like redundant, like people you would think would show appreciation to their spouse. But I think if you don't get into a habit of it, you can go long periods of time without acknowledging like your gratitude towards a spouse. And, this just makes me think of something. We were talking to, I think it was like an engaged couple, and they were just sharing one thing that they really appreciated about a mentor couple, like somebody that they really looked up to, was how much that mentor couple just would say thank you all the time to one another. And just like even for the little things of the day. So I just thought that was beautiful. It's like what struck the young couple was how this married couple would just show appreciation to one another. And we're so grateful for the small things that were done. So the activity, or what do you call this?
Yeah, an activity, exercise.
The exercise was to show appreciation. So it says, write down 6 things you appreciate about your partner, your spouse. Be specific. It may be thanking them for what they do, or it may be expressing your appreciation for who they are. Try to make it a mixture, looking particularly for things you may have come to take for granted. So then we had to write 6 things that we love about one another. Mm-hmm. Am I supposed to share what I wrote?
Sure, why not?
Okay. I feel like this is like personal, but that's okay. I can share what I love about you and what I'm thankful for. I love that you laugh so much. I love that you try to bring joy to people. Because this specific day when I wrote this down, we had gone to go look at a vehicle, and you were just like super friendly with him, and we're making him laugh, and you were actually encouraging this guy to like get married. Mm-hmm. And then just remembering you sharing a story how when you would go do parish missions, you would stand at the door and you would shake every single person's hand to bring joy to them and to just like engage with them. Number 3, I love that you aren't afraid to do hard things or to have hard conversations. Number 4, I love that you always make sure that I'm okay, and you're never pressuring, or you never make me want to be like to do anything that I don't want to do, or you're just always taking what I think in mind.
Even kayaking.
Yeah, exactly. You won't force me to kayak. That's exactly what I mean. Number 5, I love that you diffuse my frustration and you don't add to it. So like if I'm angry about something, you don't add to it. You don't make me more angry. Like you usually just are silent, and you don't. Yeah, I appreciate that because I feel like you could easily fuel my frustration.
And you feel heard?
And I feel like you're heard. That I feel like I'm heard. That you're listening. Yeah. Okay. Number 6, and I love the father that you are to our kids, that you want to spend time with them, you want to hold them, and you want to protect them.
Thank you, Janelle.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate that. So what I wrote down, number 1 was how you look at me and smile. You do. And it's during the day, just the glance of appreciation or admiration. Like it's just, it's so life-giving. And it can't be faked. So thank you. Appreciate that. Number 2, how hard you work to keep our house clean. That's a real gift, and it creates order within our home, and I think it brings peace. And so with the kids as well, like things have places, you have systems, people know what they ought to be doing too. Like it's just a general like cleanliness, clean, but then an orderly thing as well. Like the kids know right now what they're supposed to be doing.
I hope so.
Well, it was communicated to them. Number 3, your joyful disposition. You're consistently joyful, and we all have ups and downs, but like you're consistent with your joy, and I just feel like that's such a great treasure to me and to our family. Your consistent prayer. There's certain things in your life that are so consistent, and when you say consistent, it's sometimes not a sexy adjective, but you're just so faithful to your prayer. Every morning, I see you take out your St. Bridget prayers. You just inspire me with that, and so you win grace for our marriage and for our family, and I really love that about you. And your ability, I think this is number 5 or 6, your ability to rejoice and celebrate. You look for opportunities to celebrate life, whether it be, and in typical families, you have birthday celebrations, but you really enjoy celebrating somebody's birthday, and it's a big deal to that child or to me. Coincidentally, the person that you seem not to rejoice in the most on their birthday is your own. But it's like, so you typically, expect that in families, but then you look for other opportunities, like the day they were baptized, we celebrate that. The day you look at the calendar feast days of the church, and we celebrate those things in our home. You can't get through a week without finding something to celebrate. And celebration, again, brings the habit of joy, I think. And I don't know anyone who does something like that. And I'm really blessed.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I love celebrating. It's true.
So I missed something too. Like I'm sure there's other things that you like to celebrate that I didn't mention. What are they?
Oh, just all the regular feast days. And then there's like Father's Day. And then there's like, even Lent, like just entering into Lent. I love that. Like entering into the different seasons of the year.
Yeah, so you can even celebrate Lent.
Can you say that? I'm celebrating Lent.
Anyways, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Hopefully this conversation has blessed somebody. I know it's blessed me.
And me. So we thank God for 17 years
We do.
marriage.